It's time to make money fast doing rock mining in Star Citizen 318. First thing you need to do is head over to the refinery deck on any L1 station. Hit up the Vantage rental kiosk here, and if you don't own a Cuddy Black or the Nomad, you're going to want to rent one right now. After that, you'll want to rent the Gray Cat ROC, which is super duper cheap. This thing's going to pay for itself really fast. Alright, Commander, we made some pretty good money last stage, but this stage is going to be making that stuff look like bubblegum change. At the time of filming, there was a really bad bug going around that wouldn't let you out of your chair if you own the Cuddy Black, so yeah, that's why I'm using the Max right now. No worries though, at this point that bug's been fixed. Generally at this stage, I like to farm Hadnite on Daymar, but I want to show you something that's a bit less profitable, so we're going to farm Aphorite on Lyra. Like, bro, seriously, Star Citizen looks so good, it, makes me lose my train of thought sometimes. Once you arrive at the outpost, you will want to land right next to those little blue pads right there. That's where you can pull your rock out at. If there's anyone around when you're pulling your rock out, be super paranoid. Don't let them in your ship. When you get inside, hit up the Fleet Manager's terminal. You will have to claim your rock on the very first time you pull it out because it's actually at the location that you rented it at right now. Don't worry, Commander, about wasting a whole bunch of your time because it only takes 14 seconds to pull out your rock once you claim it, so it's not really that bad, I guess. Maybe go rip something off. Any second now. Any second now. This is just like the army, where you need to hurry up so you can just wait around a whole bunch. Pretty much always get in the habit of just getting into your rock, then driving it over to your ship before you open up the back cargo hatch, because I'm not kidding you. There are people right now beating off to the thought of actually getting in your ship and totally griefing you. Now the last thing you're going to want to do is have that mental image stuck in your mind, so definitely just be paranoid. Much like all good things in life, Commander, when you pull in your rock, it's going to be a tight fit. So, just kind of squeeze it in there, nice and slow. I said tight fit. Even though there's nobody around, I can't quite close that hatch fast enough out of paranoia. Once you're ready to locate the gem nodes, hit B to enter your scan mode. Pressing tab will send out a ping. A single gem has an RS signature of 620, so any multiple of 620 is going to be a gem node. You won't really find any salvage shards on a planetary surface, but each one has a signature of 2000. A single mineable rock will have a signature of 1700. So basically that signal of 1240 means there are 2 gems right here that we can mine up with the rock. Now, if you want to easily find out what type of gem that is, just look at it while you're in V-Scan and hold down your left mouse click button. Suddenly, you're going to get a whole bunch of information, and those are Aphorite gems right there. Gem patches are super duper easy to find, so I recommend that you spend just a little bit more time looking for an actual patch of about 4 or more. Now, you can find patches of 10 or more. They're not very uncommon, but for posterity, let's mine these. If you're mining out in the boondocks and you're pretty far away from any settlements, you can pretty much feel free to leave that ramp down. Nobody should be able to find you out here unless you get super duper unlucky. I pretty much feel we're far enough away right now, Commander, so I'm gonna leave the back door open. I hope it's not
famous last words.
These gem nodes we're fixing to mine are too big to use the hand mining tool. That's why we need to use the rock. You're going to press M to pull out your mining laser. Now this is very similar to hand mining. You're going to actually need to scan it before you start putting a charge into it because you don't want to blow yourself up. Pressing the left mouse click is going to turn on the laser's power. Now wheel up to increase the laser intensity. Just make sure you don't increase it too much because, going into the red basically makes you die. And dying is a big fat huge waste of your time, Commander, so you want to do that as little as possible. It also hurts a bit too. There we go, it's actually starting to get relatively close to the green area. Now, it could have just had 100% of power and it would have got there first, but we want to make sure that we don't heat it up too fast so it doesn't get into that red whatsoever. A little bit of red isn't so totally and completely horrible, but if that actually cracks and it's into the red a half decent amount, you better break your freaking neck to get away from it, or it will totally and completely send you to your maker. Then I would have to find a way to resurrect you, Commander, then demote you right back to Lieutenant because you totally choked on something that's like really super easy to do. Every single time you crack open one of these gem nodes, it's going to drop at least 30 gems. Unless you kind of crack it in the red, then it's going to get a little bit less, and they're going to fly all over the freaking place. Pressing the right mouse click will actually get you into extraction mode. Now you'll be able to scoop up all of these gems like a freaking boss. See? Now that wasn't all that hard, was it, Commander? Basically have this last rock cracked right here. Now that's going to be another 30 gems on the ground. Ultimately, we got 60 gems from these 2 nodes. Now, that's not too shabby, but it sure would be a whole heck of a lot better if we just spend a little bit more time trying to find at least a 5 to a 10 pack. That's going to be a lot more worth our time. Taking off and landing for 1 or 2 gems at a time really isn't worth it. Time for more tight fit action. Now you're going to be going in and out and in and out and in and out quite a bit while you're doing rock mining. Like right next to us, we picked up another signal source of 1240. That's going to mean it's 2 gems. I'm not even going to bother this time. Here's a signal source of 1860. That's going to guaranteed be 3 gem nodes. My inner Ferengi tells me I should probably just land really quick and yoink those up. Close by, we found a signal source of 3100. That's going to mean there is 5 gem nodes right there. That's definitely worth mining up. Spending just a little bit of time is actually worth it when you find these bigger gem patches, because like I said earlier, spending a lot of time landing and taking off is time consuming, and it's better if you just land when you find a half decent patch. Time to do a whole bunch of cracking, then we're going to be doing some scooping. Commander, if you ever run into the instance where your rock isn't collecting anything, all you have to do is press M to stow away your laser, then cut power by pressing U. Once everything's powered down, just press R, then you can pull your mining laser right back out by pressing M once again. Doing this will actually fix that bug where your rock won't collect anything. Now you can get back to making a whole boat ton of money. Now I don't want to really give away how much money we're going to make at the very end of this video, but let's talk about the difference between mining here on Lyra and primarily farming up the Aphorite, as opposed to heading over to Daymar and mostly focusing on farming up Hadanite gems. Here's the deal, Commander. Hadanite itself is worth 275 per gem, and Aphorite is only worth 152. That is a difference of 123 AUEC per gem. Now the rock can hold up to 800 gems before it's totally and completely full. Now you can stuff those gems in the very back of your ship, I'll show that in a bit. But the difference is 98,400 AUEC for spending about the same amount of time and farming on Daymar instead of here. Here's the thing about Hadanite, it likes warm climates, and right now we're kind of on like the ice moon of Hoth right now, so we're not going to find any Hadanite here whatsoever. There are other places where you can farm Hadanite in the verse. The only problem is if you try to farm on Ariel or Aberdeen in the Hurston system, you're going to run into some problems. Nothing is more frustrating when you spend the time to find a really big patch and like 3/4 of them spawn under the ground or boulders and things like that are resting on the surface of the moons. Oh yeah, rock is getting really full at this point. I might just demonstrate how to actually empty the hatch in the back of the rock and put all those gems into our ship. I mean, I guess I could, totally be less greedy and just go sell this stuff, but why do that? I mean, I'm having a great time, the server's running pretty good, let's make even more money. Head to the back of your rock, you're going to see this little hatch. All you have to do is hold down the F key and left click with your mouse. It will open up the hatch for you. Then you can transfer all of these gems to your vehicle. Commander, I highly recommend that you don't get used to doing this and continuing to fill up your ship and go out there and keep mining in the rock and doing that over and over, because eventually something might go wrong and you might lose all your gems. In order to avoid most of those horrible circumstances from happening to you, just get used to filling up the rock and immediately going to your sell location to sell. Just like with the cave missions, you can pretty much sell these gems at any admin office anywhere. You can also sell them at any of the mining facilities that are located on planets or moons where you can pull the rock out of. I generally go right back to the exact same place I pulled my rock out of. First I need to be slightly more greedy. For the most part, I like to crack all of the gem nodes first and then spend the rest of my time scooping up all those gemmy goodnesses off the ground. And look how many there are all over the place. We had 4 nodes here, so that basically means we have 120 gems. I'm just going to quickly stuff these gems into my ship so it makes it slightly easier to sell, all from one location. Here we are back at cell 5. Total time in the field was about an hour and 15 minutes, which isn't too super horrible, really. When you arrive at one of these mining outposts, they're only going to buy these gems in one location, and that's the building that has the orange light on it. You want to hit up the commodities terminal, then select which vehicle you have your gems in. In our case, it's going to be the Freelancer Max. I pretty much emptied out the ROC entirely. Looks like we ended up with 120 Aphorite and a little over 160 Dolivine, which isn't too bad, although Dolivine's worth even less than Hadonite, which is a total and complete bummer, but it is what it is. Before we totally drop our load and sell all that Aphorite off, let's see how much we get for the Dolivine. Alright, 21k isn't too super horrible. I figured it wasn't going to be too bad. I mean, it doesn't take long to scoop up these gems, and right there's 109k, which is even better. Now imagine if you farmed Hadonite on Daymar. You would have made 100k more. I have a deal for you. As long as you don't talk about all the money I lost trying to run Slam while crashing into an asteroid, I'm going to promote you to Captain. Now, a smart captain's going to head over to the Crusader system and go farm on Daymar. He can actually pull your rock out from SCD-1. Rock mining's pretty good, but what if I told you you can make upwards of 500k per hour with this next method? Do you have what it takes, Captain?